The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome, everyone, back to a excellent episode of the Power Trading Hour. As always, we come to you at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, we're down 77.5 on the S&P cash. Dow's down 645. NASDAQ's down 265. Russell's down 53. Crude oil's up 26 cents. Gold's down $8. Silver's up 16 cents. And what I didn't look at very much, but want to during the show today, is the most important chart on the market right now, I believe. And that's going to be the TLT. We thought it was going to come back into this gap. I was looking for 101. We've got a little bit more than that. Volume is about 20 million shares. No, it's about 13 million shares right now into this gap that went up on 4. So that's not a good thing. But we do have a lot of volume. Is that right? 13 million there? 19? Yeah, 13. So the question, though, is you got almost 20, and you're looking at a low out here with 25 million shares from December 28th. I never really understood this bounce other than maybe, since I don't spend a lot of time on bonds, maybe everybody was on one side of the boat and they just decided to run them. Of course, there were a bunch of people that were just kind of saps, I believe, who thought that the Fed would just roll over and be have the spine of a 7-day-old linguine. So I'm not really believing that. I do think that he's quietly trying to move the markets up and down on a daily basis by what the Fed says. But in reality, they just want to keep a lid on a boiling pot, and that pot could boil over at darn near any time. So quite the magic trick that he's trying to work out here. But certainly what I think is the most important chart. Now, we're only about, a little less than $1 above this December 28th low, and the volume is okay. If we blow that out, my belief is we're probably at least looking at this 96 level. That's the next gap down, and that is from the 10th of November last year. So if you want some kind of scenario where we actually do end up going and retesting those lows in the 3,600 on the S&P cash, I think the bonds at least are giving you a little bit, a taste, just a whiff. They're letting you wet your beak on what could be coming your way. So does anybody know the future? No. Is it as bad as a lot of people are talking about? Probably no. Is it as good? No. But it's probably not great. And we all kind of know it. We all know that we're probably going to see at least some touch of recession to try to get inflation back in check. But anyway, those next lows, if we bust here, and do I think we're going to instantly do it this week? No. Again, we could get a little bounce out of this, and then the Fed try to talk it up, and then maybe everything start fading. Walmart came out and told everybody it's things are going to not be what they want. Everybody has ignored Walmart, decided that they must own this no matter what. Right now, got to have it. A nice big candle out here might tell you some of what people are thinking, which is at any lower price, you should buy Walmart. I don't believe that that will be a long-term or even a medium-term correct stock trade, maybe just for today. Home Depot gap down. It's done so. The most volume in the world, no. You gapped up on 7.8 million shares back on November 10th. We're back into that right now with 6.6. So we could see a little bit higher volume. And that would take us back in, if we just fill this gap halfway, which I think you're still going to do before you even think about bouncing, that takes you to about 292 or 293 on the homeless despot. So those kind of the first things that we start looking at. Other things that I find interesting are DocuSign. And this one gapped down, as we said in the update today. This was wow. You know, this is like these guys are Enron kind of downgrade. Seems a little bit pushed. But I do see that, you know, a lot of these stocks are just set up to come back to these gaps up where they started everything out. In this case, that's back to about 45. So let's take a look at some of the usual suspects out here, like Apple. It has gapped down, not horribly. Volume's okay. Support comes in at about 147. 149.14 is the low of the day so far. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft, MSFT. See, let's update that. And we've gone through the gap that we saw. This gap is from February 2nd. We came back up. No lot of volume here. So, as I said, I don't think we have enough volume in a lot of these stocks to break through in the next couple of days. That generally connotes that you're going to get some kind of bounce. And then if that bounce is on light volume, the next time you come through, you normally rocket through it. And as Microsoft's the belle of the ball these days, there are bigger problems. What else do we have out here? I know I had something else going on. Let's see if we can find it here. There we are. Stratton Oakmont. Some people may remember this company from the Wolf of Wall Street. We'll talk about it in history today. Of course, Walmart and HD had earnings this morning. After the bell tomorrow night is Toll and Pan W. We'll talk about Pan W a little bit more later. TJ Maxx and Baidu are Wednesday night. Alibaba and Moderna on Thursday morning. And then Thursday night, we've got Square, Bookings.com, Intuit, Melee, and Autodesk. So we'll have a little bit of action this week, but maybe not as much as we've had in the past. When we come back, we're going to do a little history.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
On this day in 1958, Lincolnshire County Council, that is a place in England, if you live in Lutz, we're widening a road past the RAF, that's the Air Force in England, if you live in Lutz, main gate, and there were two guard gates there. That's what they called a Lancaster bomber and a bomb that was the biggest bomb that they used in Second World War. And they had to be moved to make way for a new, wider road. They were going from 2 lanes to 5 lanes, as many things are happening. They had about 50,000 people go by that the front gate every day. It was in World War II. It was the home of the 6th, 17th Squadron, which is a bunch of Lancaster bombers. Interesting thing, they go to move the airplane, no big problem. They go to move the bomb. Well, the empty weight of the bomb was supposed to be about 2,500 pounds. They went to move it, and it wouldn't budge. They estimate it was about 25,000 pounds. Well, did someone fill it with lead? Well, no. It was a live bomb sitting by the side of the road with a detonator in it. If someone had come up with a big hammer and hit it, it would have gone off. I guess the assumption is, I always think about assumptions when I read about this. But, hey, yeah, it's a bomb. It's got to be diffused. They had to take all the explosives out of it. Well, every gun is loaded and every bomb can go off. Just thought it was interesting news on this day. And they did drag it down the highway and put it in a big hole about 100 feet deep. And they called them earthquake bombs for a reason. The entire country shook. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com and at TFNN path at TFNN.com. I listened this morning about pretty much through the morning about a hearing and, oral arguments in front of the Supreme Court today. And I found it very interesting. This is one of about 6 Section 230 cases, and anybody in social media is well aware of them. I suspect that there's a few things that have already happened, knowing that the Supreme Court didn't take this case to do nothing. They are going to clip the wings of a law that has gone amok, and that is that you can't sue these guys for literally anything. And the first case today hit was whether or not Google, or using YouTube, was helping Al-Qaeda. And in this thing, there were several Al-Qaeda channels that were generating money with ads. And that ad money did go to Al-Qaeda sources. So were you and can you be arrested for aiding and abetting a terrorist organization? I don't know if there's much actually going to happen on that front, but they're tearing apart 230 today. Now, that's not it. As I said, there's 5 more cases coming in the next 2 months. And one of them they put off for about 4 weeks. It was supposed to be heard on the 24th, I thought, originally. Now it's going to be heard in May. But, these guys have been able to do literally anything and get away with it, almost. Well, they helped Al-Qaeda. And people told them, you got a channel on there that's telling people how to cut people's heads off. You think you should do something about it? And they said, we'll get to it eventually. So are they liable? Somebody actually sued because I think their son or daughter got killed by Al-Qaeda somewhere. I didn't really get into the meat and potatoes of this one because I don't think there's a lot to it. They're using this as a way to get in some of the later hearings and get the beginning of it. But this could be the beginning of the end of the first chapter of the internet. Now, what I wanted to talk about is how this all got started. Section 230, most people don't know, was a response in 1996 to a broker-dealer who didn't like things that was being said about him on the Prodigy network. It was kind of like CompuServe back in the day. It was just at the beginning of the internet. But these people went on with assumed names and told everybody that this company, Stratman Oakmark? Stratman, what is it? Can't even trying to remember the name now. It wasn't that. Oakmark Stratton? Stratton Oakmark? Stratton Oakmark was doing bad things. Well, no one would probably know them today if they hadn't made a big movie called The Wolf of Wall Street. Yes, it was that guy. He was getting lied about. He was throwing huge amounts of money around at Congress. And he wanted to make sure that if anybody wrote anything liable about him, that he could directly sue the company. People were scared to death that all these fledgling companies, soon to be companies like Google and YouTube and Facebook, wouldn't ever exist because they'd instantly get sued out of existence. So the Congress waved a magic wand, and of course they did it in a hurry. And now we're living through them cleaning it up. Now, no one believes that you should be able to aid and abet Al-Qaeda in them actively promoting terrorism around the world and in the United States. And they get sued for that. But the claim has been that these companies can't be sued for anything because of this 230. I think, at least from the hearings this morning and the arguments, don't think that that's going to hold whatsoever. Anyway, there were a lot of very interesting arguments on both sides about how it would be too restrictive, everything else. I'll wait for judgment until I hear the next one tomorrow on Twitter. But they're going to do something, and none of it's going to help them. The question is it going to be bad or extremely bad for these companies? And somebody asked me today whether or not Facebook, a la Metamucil, was going to go back down. I don't think these guys have a chance of walking away from this unscathed. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Anyway, we were coming back. Someone asked me if we could fill this gap on Meta, and I think we can. Probably not going to get a decision before May and maybe midsummer from these companies, but everybody kind of knows it's coming, and it's either going to be bad or very bad. From the questioning, somebody said in the den maybe, which way was this going to go? And sometimes it's along partisan lines, that kind of stuff. But from the questioning, I thought it was 7-2, that they're going to do something. They didn't, both sides had of the aisle had some things that they really disliked about the way this was all put together. And again, as we said, Mr. Wolf of Wall Street is pretty much responsible for this. And he's just the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? What else do we have out here? Question about we had here. We get here. Palo Alto Networks. Of course, they've got earnings coming out after the bell. See what we have here. You don't have a whole lot. You got support at about 162. This business is okay, but companies are starting to cut back already to try to make their numbers. And if they can cut anything, this is probably one of the first things that they'll spend less money on. Does it reflect on the company or how they run it or their products? Although I think that they're better. But my guess is that if I had to bet, and I'm not, I'm going to say that these guys end up at about 162 tomorrow. They've had a nice round, but almost all these companies are coming back into these gaps, and I don't see anything that says this is different at the time. Maybe they got some more contracts that fell into this quarter from last quarter or something. That's why I don't bet on these things. But overall, I continue to see this as extra money that they can cut when they want to at big corporations. And not a lot of people are going to complain. So just watch for anything that's incidental in these bigger companies, and the ones that are going to be that, like Palo Alto, probably have problems. One of the other ones that I think we have is Camping World. CWH? Is that right? Camping World is taking a header. We talked about this one maybe 8 weeks ago. And the problem with getting loans on these land yachts, otherwise known as RVs, you're down with a pretty big candle today. But it's hard for me to believe that if they don't get whacked on this earnings call, they're going to get whacked on the next one. I know a couple of people in this area that are into the RV business, and they all tell me it sucks. Another thing that sucks is being a long-term employee at Best Buy. I heard a great deal about this one all weekend long from the tech influencers who know a lot of the people that work at these kind of techie companies. And apparently all last week, Best Buy was firing anybody that had been there for a while. If every year you're there, you get a raise. So they fired everybody that had been there for a while. And a lot of people are screaming. I went into my local store just to, on Saturday, was it Saturday or Sunday? Now I can't even remember. Maybe it was Sunday. To pick up a new phone. And there was literally about 3 employees in the entire store with about 50 customers. They had one checkout, one guy at the front door to make sure everybody didn't run out with stuff, and one guy working back in the phone department, and I couldn't find literally anybody else anywhere. So, you know, when you're having a tough time, we talked about cutting everything to the bone. It looks to me like at least on one location we've got that. I'll go to a couple others in the next couple of weeks. But it's, you know, generally the word goes out to these big retail companies. And, you know, you may not always be able to read the chart, but you can read the tea leaves when everybody's getting canned. But right now, I don't see a whole lot of stuff going on that makes these guys a company that I think is going higher. Maybe next fall there'll be some new products. I don't know what they're going to be. But right now, computer sales are pretty slow. Laptops are doing a little bit better. But desktops are down about 50% over the last 6 months. So maybe they're selling more refrigerators and freezers and $30 cables that you can buy for $3 on Amazon, which is what they need to do to actually make money. But certainly when we're looking at this, they're down in light volume today, but $80 looks like support. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at some other stuff as I got distracted. Anything else going on Tesla here? As I said, I really like the idea of getting a little bit of pullback in these markets and then going back up one more time. If we fall apart right now, then we're probably going to have a small pullback. If we pull back a little bit and then go back up and try to push up, maybe like fund buying, something like that, come next week, and then that fails, generally that means you go back to where the whole thing started. And we've got so many stocks that are 20 to 30 days above the 3x3 displaced moving average. That would suggest that a lot of these could come right back down to the lows of the beginning of the year. So not predicting it quite yet, but showing you the pattern in the future that if you saw that you'd want to make sure that you were either out of your long positions or you were short. So we looked at that. Okay. Question about the XLE. Okay. So today, well, on Friday, we had almost 23 million shares in the XLE. That goes into this candle with 24 million shares on December 9th. Today, you got a little doji out here, so you might have a little bit of respite, but at best, you have the same energy and volume on the way up as the way down in the XLE. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And as we hover around 4,000, today, of course, is the first day of options rollover. Tomorrow will be the second. Generally, they compress it a little bit, so we may be through that by 2 o'clock tomorrow. Normally, it takes about 2 days. That is when old options hedges are taken off and new ones are put on. They issue and sell new options to roll over the old ones. And generally, they like a little bit of market gas. And if today's down, then generally tomorrow's up. And the contraries, too. If today was up, generally tomorrow's down. So I'm not going to hang my hat too much on the end of the world for tomorrow. But I think a lot of people are probably already thinking that, man, we could have sold last week. Yeah. But I think that there's still a lot of people out there, I meet a lot of them, that just think the market's going to the moon. As I said, if we go up over, let's say, late this week into next week for fund buying, that would be the 1st of March is on a Wednesday, so that's 8 days from now. So let's say that, you get that, you get into a little bit of fund buying, we get back up a little high, and then the whole thing gives it up. Better chance that we hit and go retest that 3,600 area for those long-term lows. 877-927-6648 as we look at some other stuff going on here. Question about gold from Ron. Thanks, Ron, for the email. Let's see. Let's do this, which is an update. As I said, we came down with some decent energy on the 3rd of February. On the GLD, that was about 13.7 million shares. We've kind of continued to come down a little bit. You could make a fairly decent case that, let's get back in here, that we've had the retracement that you're looking for. That was a 382. That took you to 169.83. So you've got that little level right there, and you've kind of hit it. But generally, when you come down with a lot of energy, at best, you're going to go sideways for a little while. I can't remember who I was talking to about that last week. Maybe it was Steve. That it didn't look bad, but generally when you come down with a lot of energy, you're going to go sideways. You're going to have a U bottom and not a V bottom without some kind of, nuclear war, something else that would have to be pretty big out there. So right now, you're at kind of a minimum retrace. but not much going on in this. I suspect, like everything, that we're really talking about the first couple of days in March, where a lot of these things are going to come to fruition. And in the meantime, we're going to have an opportunity to trade around the market until we get the next big trend. That trend could either be up if we get lots of volume, or it could be a up right before the big down move that we've had before. 877-927-6648. See out here. Do you have anything else? Okay. Looking here. What happened there? I don't know what happened. Okay. We'll be back. Okay. A question about electronic arts. We haven't looked at this one for a while. Take a quick look. Yeah, it's going to come down and retest 108.77. That is the May 10th low. This and many others fell apart with Activision being blocked from being bought by Microsoft. They had kind of a soft quarter anyway, but the big dip mostly was these companies were based on a fairly large buyout level. But Microsoft did announce on Friday they're going to fight the EU about taking over Activision this week. They're going to file. But I don't know if anybody gives them much of a chance. So a lot of these companies will not be priced on a buyout right now for computer gaming companies, but on their base sales. And I think the biggest problem that all these companies have right now is just the low volume sales now on desktops, which, of course, if you're buying an electronics arts title, I think about 3/4 of them are actually from computer gamers that have big rigs with big monitors. They're not playing a lot of those games, although some people are on laptops. Well, I enjoy that. Somebody's got a picture in the den here of Lou, I guess I pronounced Bega, Lou Bega, Mambo number 5. I remember watching a interview from somebody and him, and what was it? It had to be in the 90s, right? Mid to late 90s. Anyway, I was watching this interview, and the host says, "So what are you going to do after this?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to make 100 hits. There's no stopping me." I enjoyed the belief that nothing could hold him back, but I did kind of know how many one-hit wonders there are in the world. But do like it. Okay, what else do we have out here? Has CCJ peaked again? We have a lot of problems right now pricing the companies in China. China is, I don't know if anybody watched the news over the weekend. They're talking about putting together a lot of sanctions on the United States. And, you have a gap down today. Things with the West and, of course, China, Russia, kind of a theme over the last week of them getting a little closer to spread evil in the world. So what can you say? I know that one of the other stocks that I was looking at this morning also had that. Was it Baidu? I think so, maybe. That had dipped lower, but there was also another one. I want to say it was J something. I'll think about it during the break when we get back. Anyway, yeah, a lot of the coming destruction in the market might come from some kind of a big issue outside the United States. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we come back, question about Intel. I wrote about them in the Tech Insider today. They did something totally shocking. They did something right. First sign of intelligent life on the Intel planet. I don't think it's enough to change a lot about what's going on, but they actually made something that might interest me and I might actually buy, which is like the first time in 3 or 4 years. But again, small part of their bigger business. But you're going through 150 million share low today with about 44 million. But, if the market pulls back, you could hope that this goes back and retests the low at 23.97. That is the low from October 13th of last year. And if you got some light volume, that be a nice long-term pattern. Until it goes back and retests that low, I'm not much in the way of thinking I want to be in this stock on a chart basis. Maybe they'll do something else and surprise us. But there was at least one person that apparently was in management that decided to market a product correctly. And it doesn't come out until maybe another month, maybe May, something like that. But you know what? I'll probably end up buying it. But you know what? There isn't many other things out there at the moment. But, you know, I haven't seen anything they did that made sense up until now. And this is just the first step in a very long death march. So maybe turning around. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We shall return like patent to the Philippines.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems